Hi ladies, how are you all? Hope you're doing really well. We're heading towards the end of the year. It's such a sad time, but it's also a very um nice time as well. Time to spend with the family if you're, living with your family. And hopefully things get better with the whole COVID situation. So anyway, I wanted to make one last recipe. I'm not sure if I'm going to do one more recipe before December. It all depends. We will see. But I thought I'll end this one with a really easy one and something that you can maybe make on a side with your Christmas dinner or Christmas roast. And it's a vegetarian option, obviously, because as you know, we only do vegetarian food here. So what am I making? I am making some vegetable fritters. Um, Usually with vegetable fritters, they're usually made with courgettes, but I have realized from you guys that not all of you like courgettes. And that's what main fritters are the main ingredient in them. So I thought, let me make fritters with something else. And I was going to do spinach, but then I realized I don't have any spinach. So I thought, what else do I have? And this is the way, you kind of enjoy your cooking, is by seeing what you have at home and kind of coming up with a recipe according to the ingredients that you have available. So what I did have is sweet potato, the normal white potato. I've got some parsley, some red onions, and an egg and cheese. And I've also got, and this is one of my secret ingredients, and this is sun-dried tomatoes. And I'm going to be adding in this, and it's only because I just saw it in the cupboard and I thought, you know what, this might taste quite nice. And sun-dried tomatoes have a really nice zesty, soft feel and soft touch, but yet they're quite tangy as well. So if you don't like tomatoes, do try sun-dried tomatoes. They don't have the same texture as fresh tomatoes, but they actually taste really nice. So we are going to be making a very different kind of recipe to normal fritters. So I hope you guys enjoy this. So let's get cracking. What are we going to do? The steps are, we're going to get a shred. I'm going to get my grater, and we're going to grate the sweet potato. We're going to grate the normal potato. I'm going to really finely chop the red onions, and then we're going to mix everything in a big bowl, and then we're going to cut the sun-dried tomatoes really lightly as well. So obviously I usually tell you not to peel your sweet potato, but in this recipe I will tell you, because it's going to take time to cook, and we're not going to be cooking the fritters for that long. We're going to be just sauteing them in some olive oil on a pan, literally a dry pan. So let's get cracking. Right, so I'm going to put everything on the side here. I'm going to actually start with the onions, because I like to get the onions over and done with very early on. Okay, so let's really finely chop the onions. Okay. And I usually say you don't need to worry about how you cut them, because obviously you all know my knife skills are not great. But in this situation, you're going to make sure that your onions are quite fine and quite small, otherwise they will kind of stick out from the fritters, be out of proportion, and then you won't have very pretty looking fritters that are very nicely cooked. We also have like sweet corn as well and fritters as well. I'm out of the shop right now. I haven't been out shopping in like a week, and I've kind of run out of everything. So I'm just improvising, and that's what really, it's fun. I love improvising. I love replacing, different ingredients with the usual recipe. I don't like following recipes. I like just, being imaginative and fun. And I think by now you all know that. Right. Okay. So that wasn't too long. Right, so we're gonna get a big bowl and add this in the bowl. I like red onions because I think they give a nice taste, a nice crunch, and they do have a different taste to normal white onions. Right, I'm not going to peel the skin off the white potato because that's not very hard. It's not very difficult to cook. Okay. Yep. That's quite fun. almost there. Right, so let's just clean that out. Yep, I'm gonna add this in the bowl. And before I add the onions, the potatoes, the grated potatoes, you know what I'm gonna do by now, don't you? I'm just going to squeeze all that water out, because what this is gonna do, this is gonna make the mixture really, really wet and soggy, and then it won't stick together. Now, if I was squeezing out carrots or cucumbers or courgettes, you know, I would say I'm going to keep the juice to use in one of my smoothies later on. Obviously, I'm not going to do the same with potato skin, because it's just pure starch. Right, so let me just get rid of that. What potato starch is really good for, it's really good for dry skin. If you have dry skin, potato starch is really good. Just dampen the cloth in the starch and dampen it on your knee or your elbows or wherever you have that dry skin. You get the peeler. See, if you have whatever vegetables you have at home, if you have broccoli, cauliflower, courgettes, spinach, you can use them in this recipe instead of the sweet potato. And like I said, I'm out of a big shop. Otherwise, usually I have a variety of vegetables. But today I've only got sweet potato and the frozen, but I didn't want to use frozen. Right, and we're gonna just grate this as well. Excuse the mess. Now I'm only going to use half a sweet potato. And that's almost done. Okay, and then I'm going to add that in our bowl. Already the colors look so good. We've got purple, orange, yellow, and then we're going to add in some green with the coriander. And now just remaining is the red with the sweet, with the tomatoes. Okay, now I'm going to open the jar of tomatoes. Right, I'm going to pull out a few. These are just so nice and they're soaked in oil, and I just want to eat them as they are. I'm going to take out about 3. They are quite strong, but I personally really love this taste, the texture and the flavour. So I'm going to cut them really, really fine. If you see these big chefs like Gordon Ramsay and Jamie Oliver, they love using sun-dried tomatoes. They're not just for paninis and sandwiches, they're not just for salads. You can use them in anything, because they give a really nice extra flavour. Okay, and then we're going to add this in our bowl. And then we're going to pop in 1 egg. Okay. Right. And now we're going to add some spices. And for the spices, I am going to add half a spoon of pepper. It's really going to be just seasoning, not much spices. Because we want the sun-dried tomatoes to kind of, you know, shine through. And then half a teaspoon of salt. I'm also going to add 2 spoons of flour. Now, if you want to, you can use chickpea flour. You can use normal flour, you can use wholemeal flour. The whole reason for adding the flour is that it's going to give a nice texture, and it's going to help bind all the ingredients together. So, I mean, we're using the egg, and that's going to help binding the ingredients together, like gluing it. But what the flour does is that if there's any excess liquid in the potatoes or the sweet potato, or you know, any excess oil through the courgettes, it's going to soak it in. And then also it's going to give you like a crispy kind of crust on the outside of the panini. This is not a must, you don't have to add flour, but if you want that crispy kind of feel and you want them easily cooked and, you know, without any drama, then do just go ahead and add a table or 2 spoons of flour. Now at this point, it is optional if you want to add cheese or not. So right now I'm not going to add cheese, but if you want to, you can add cheese. If you want to, while the while the fritters are actually cooking, you can sprinkle some cheese on top and let it melt, and that's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make one big fritter that's going to fit in my pan, this pan, and it's going to be almost like the size of a pancake, and that's just going to be my main meal. That's going to be like a lunch for me. Right, so let me get the cooker on. So I've got my pan on, and I'm going to add about 3 spoons of olive oil in there. You know, me and olive oil, we're like just best friends. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to place the mixture in the pan so it kind of squishes together, but yet it's, you know, it's, I'm going to just show you here. So I'm going to take the pan off the heat. You can hear the sizzle. Flatten it out. If you have a small pan, it's really, really easy because you don't need to worry about, you know, putting 1, 2, 3, 4 and then spacing them out, and then, you know, so putting one in is just so much more easier, and then you know how to, you know how to shape it as well. So that's going to cook on low heat for about 2 minutes on one side, and then we're going to turn it around. So as you can see, while this is frying, I'm going to be pressing it down, and that's just going to help kind of it make sure, confirm that it's glued together, and you know it's going to get nice and golden from the side. Okay. Now it was cooking on one side for about 3 minutes, and make sure you have it on low heat. I've got it on low heat, and then I've tilted the side, and if only I could tell you how amazing it smells. It smells so nice. Right, so this is just, you know, you can even use this as a pizza base. Well, I'm going to have it like a whole meal, and I'm going to put a dollop of yogurt on top, and that's going to be my lunch. 2 of these will be my lunch, but if you wanted to, you could even flatten this out even more and bake it and use it as a pizza base. Alright ladies, our fritters, our vegetable fritters are now done. They look so tasty, it looks so yummy, so delicious, and I'm just going to take off a little bit and taste it and tell you how good this is. You know, sometimes if you're on a diet and you just don't know what to eat, right, this is the perfect thing because it's so filling, yet it's filled with lots of healthy goodness. Very hot. Oh wow. Oh wow, that tastes so good. So nice, and you don't need to worry at all about the potatoes not cooking because they're not in the pan for that long. They cook perfectly. It's so tasty, so delicious. And I'm going to get some yogurt, put some yogurt on top of this, and enjoy this for my lunch. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and if you did, do try it at home and send me pictures, tell me how it was. Thank you ladies, bye bye, see you next week.